So welcome to Sunday Evenings Flow and Restore. My name is Sasha, and this evening I thought we'd try out a new sort of challenging flow. You might find some parts of it challenging, but there's always options to do a modification if you'd like. One of the things that I've been thinking about this past week is this idea of samskara. In yoga, these are impressions that can come up in like a cyclical nature in different relationships or settings for us. So one of my own I'll share that I've noticed is the tendency to really busy myself and want to feel productive. So even though through these past 2 or so months of being more isolated, my situation has changed drastically, the way I'm relating with the world, the way I'm working. But one of the things I found is that I'm still busying myself a whole lot, and that can lead to, some fatigue and some other not so pleasant side effects. So one of the beginnings of some scars or impressions is to notice them. Through yoga, we can try to start to notice as we quiet the mind and go in a little bit more. We start to get some clarity, perhaps, on what's really going on for us. And one of the things that I've been also playing with is trying to become more comfortable when plans change, or to sort of change the script of what is my day-to-day schedule like, and can I factor in some more time that sounds silly, but can I plan some unplanned time? Can I throw in like 15 minutes to a half an hour right here that I'm just going to do whatever, whatever comes up. So in our flow today, you are going to encounter perhaps some new poses that might challenge you a bit, and I invite you to play with them. You can make them your own by modifying, but also work upon that edge, that part that's a bit challenging, working out of your comfort zone, and notice what comes up for you throughout that. Okay. So we'll start in a comfortable seat. Cross-legged can be nice, then sitting up on a bolster or a blanket. And props that we'll need for class: 2 blocks, a blanket, and a bolster. And we'll start by grounding down into our space. So let your eyes start to close or soften gently to the ground in front. Eyelids are heavy. Feel the parts of you that are making contact with the ground, parts of the legs, the sits bones, those 2 points of the hips. With your mind's eye on the pelvis, the hips, start to move your mind's eye up the spine to the shoulders. On an inhale, roll the shoulders up towards the ears and glide them down and back. Do this a few times. And then let the shoulders find a little nesting place on your back. Feel the head gently being drawn up towards the ceiling, length through the back of your body. And breathing in and out of the nose. Start to deepen the breath. Each breath a little bit longer, a little bit slower than the last. On the next inhale, follow the breath up from the pelvis, abdomen, ribs, and chest. Follow the exhale as it falls, chest, ribs, and belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Continue this 3-part breath, breathing through those 3 sections of your torso, all the way up to the chest, and exhaling all the way back down. Notice how the breath feels as it moves through your body. What sensations come to mind? And complete one more round. No rush to get to the end. And exhale completely as you're ready. The breath comes back to its natural cycle. In and out by the nose. And I invite you to draw in an intention for your practice today. Maybe it's that of challenging yourself, working along an edge. Maybe it's that of play, finding ease, or anything else. Make it your own. Palms come together at the chest to seal in this intention. Take a deep breath in through the nose. On the exhale, bow the chin towards the chest. Let the hands fall down to the lap and inhale, reach the head back up. So let's open with a few seated cat and cow. So you inhale, bring the chest forward, squeeze the shoulders together. Open the throat towards the center of the room. As you exhale, round back. Draw the chin towards the chest. Move through these 2. Trying to soften some of the edges. So moving with breath. Adding in any organic movement that calls. Wake up your spine. Next time you come forward, we're going to start bringing the hips into it a little bit more. As you come towards your right side, through the back, through that arched position again, over to the other side in the front. So circling the hips. So you're also playing with that cat and cow in the back. Allow your head and neck to move as you move. Next time you come through the front of the circle, reverse, go the other way. Nice. Might start to get a few cracks and pops out. Welcome them all. Good, and start to make your circle smaller and smaller, returning to that tall spine over the pelvis. Arms come to the sides to reach the palm, face the palms towards the ceiling, and inhale, hands overhead. gaze towards your hands. Exhale, flip palms down, and as if you're resisting a little bit against the air, press the palms down to the floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. We'll take the right hand to the left shoulder, just behind the head. Press the head into the arm. Then left hand on the right elbow. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, reach up and over towards the left side. Might be a small movement. Keeping hips rooted on the ground. Breathe into the space of the right side of your body. And come back to the center, release the arms to the sides, maybe give them a little shake. And then left hand to the right shoulder, right hand to left elbow. Inhale. Exhale, reach up and over towards right. Breathe here. Inhale, come back up through the center. Exhale, release hands. Taking a gentle twist towards the left side, right hand to left knee. Start to look over towards your left side. Maybe you can see your left shoulder. Imagine you're blowing a bit of dust off of the left shoulder. Unravel the hands back towards the center. Left hand comes to right knee, right hand behind you. Blow the dust off of the right shoulder. Good, and unravel back to the center. Take the legs out in front of you and touch the toes together, holding on to the shins. We're gonna rock back and forth in a ball. So if you know this isn't quite good for your spine, this pose isn't for you, we won't be here for too long. We're gonna come into table. So first, let's rock back and forth a couple of times, rocking onto the back, coming onto the sit bones to balance for a moment, rocking back and forward. As you come forward, you're balancing on the sit bones just for a moment, and then you rock back. So it's asking a little work from the abs, playing with your balance. And the next time you come back, cross the ankles, rock forward, place the hands down, and bring your knees behind you. A little tricky way to get into tabletop. So find yourself in table. We'll reach the right fingertips back towards the knees. And gently circle at the wrist. And flip the right fingertips back over, left palm, fingertips towards the knees, and circle at that wrist. So you're putting a little weight into the right hand to take a little pressure out of the left as you circle. If your wrists are pretty warmed up and you want to do both at the same time, you're welcome to. And flip the palms back over. Tuck your toes under, knees together, and we'll walk the hands back to our body for a toe sit. So we're gonna sit the hips over the heels, We're putting some pressure into the arches of our feet. Really great if you have bunions, like I do, to help relieve some pressure. Interlace your hands and circle the wrists. Good, and then shake out the fingers. Start to come up onto the knees, the hips over the knees. You can untuck the toes or keep them tucked if you want to get more stretch. So this is a bit of an extended camel. We definitely aren't going into camel this early in the practice, but you'll bring your right hand to your right hip and reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. You can bring your gaze up, and this is as far as we'll go right now. Breathe into your chest. Good, left hand down, and we'll switch sides. Left hand to the left hip, right arm reaches up, follow that hand with your gaze. Big deep breath into the chest space. Right hand comes down. And back into tabletop. And inhale, reach the right arm up, gaze up. Exhale, wrap it underneath the left, thread the needle. The right shoulder and the head is coming to the mat. You can keep your left hand in front of the face, walk it forward, or wrap it around the low back, hooking for the right hip. Bring the left hand back in front of the face and press up, tabletop. Switching sides. Inhale, the left arm up, gaze up, follow that hand. Exhale, thread it under the right arm. And take the same arm variation with the right arm as you did with the left on the other side. Right hand comes back in front of the face, press down into the earth as you come back into tabletop. Tuck your toes under, please, and take a deep breath. And exhale, lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Walk the knees side to side, as if you're pedaling a bicycle. Some of us might be getting out on our bikes these days. Like riding a bike, right? On the next breath in, come forward to plank. Notice if you need to adjust the feet back a little bit. Deep breath in. Exhale, lift up and back, down dog. We're going to go through these two a couple of times. So inhale, forward plank. Belly button towards the spine. Exhale, back, down dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. In, forward. Exhale, back. You can move a little slower or a little faster. Your choice. Just lining up breath with movement. One more like that, and find your way back to downward facing dog. Okay, so we're gonna press the hands into the mat. Left and right hand press down. Press the left foot into the mat and raise the right foot up and back. Reach the right heel back. And start to stack the right hip on top of the left. You could bend the right knee and circle the knee. Circle, circle, circle. For the next pose, we're going to be setting up for a pose called Wild Thing. You could also take a side plank on the left side. So for Wild Thing, We'll reach with the right hip stacked on top of the left. We'll reach back with the right foot, starting to open the chest up, sending weight into the left hand. Come up onto the left toes and onto the outer edge of the left foot. So for a moment here in side plank, perhaps, and then bring the right foot down behind. Right arm could reach up towards the ceiling. It could reach forward. Explore a little motion there. Then bring right hand back down to the mat. Right foot reaches up, square the hips off. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bring knee to chest. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, right knee to chest. Inhale, back again. This time taking right knee to left elbow, cross the body. And inhale back. One more time, exhale over to the left, hold for a moment. And now coming into either right knee down for a side plank, or starting with both hands down, that knee is across the body, coming into fallen triangle. So we're gonna bring the right foot out underneath the left arm, weight into the right arm as you reach the left hand up. So you can see how the legs are like triangle pose, standing. Press the hips up away from the ground if you're in fallen triangle. Left hand comes back down to the mat. We'll bring the right knee to the chest and step it between the hands. Lower the left knee down. Inhale, arms rise, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, sink the center of the hips towards the floor. And breathe a few breaths into this pose. Another deep breath in. Exhale, frame the front foot. From here, I'll ask you to come into side plank on the left side. So you could raise the left knee up, and as you bring the right leg back, come onto the outer edge of the left foot. Reach the right arm into the air. You can also bring the right foot in front of the left leg for side plank, or bring the left knee down and the right leg long. All good options. Start to pivot torso towards the ground. Both hands come down. Send both legs back to plank and lower knees, chest, then chin. Inhale, peel up to cobra, pressing pelvis and tops of the feet down. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift back through table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take that to the other side. So press the hands into the mat. Press the right foot into the mat. Reach the left foot up and back. Then through the left knee, stacking left hip on top of right. And first, just exploring, circle the knee. Feel that range of motion through the hip. And now stack the left hip on top of the right. Decide where you want to go today, if you want to go into wild thing or if you want to come into side plank on the right side. For wild thing, come up onto the right toes and start to let the left foot drop towards the floor as you come onto the outer edge of the right foot. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. And explore the space with the left arm. Pivot chest back down to the floor. Reach the left foot up and back, squaring off the hips. Take a deep breath in, and exhale, bring knee to chest. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, knee to center of chest. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. That's what that's called. Hold here. And then either coming into fallen triangle, so we're reaching the left foot underneath the right arm, reaching the right arm up, or side plank. So fallen triangle, it was new for me this week, it may be new for you. What we're doing here is we're on the outer edge of the left foot. We're pressing the hips away from the ground. Something new to explore. Good. Bring the hands back down to the ground, left knee to chest, and step it between the hands. Lower the right knee down, and inhale up, Anjaneyasana. Feel free to take another arm variation. You could make a basket with the hands and let the head fall into the basket. The thumbs at the base of the skull. Inhale, reach arms back up if you've taken them down. And exhale, frame the front foot. Next move, we'll bring the left foot to the right for side plank on the right side. And know your options. So you can bring that left foot in front of the right leg. You could bring the right knee down and the left leg long. Press the hips away from the ground. Good. Bring left hand down and move through your vinyasa. So lower from plank, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale up for cobra, your back bend. Exhale, find your way back to downward facing dog. Gaze forward to the hands. Step the right foot, a big step between the hands. And start to peel the chest forward. If your blocks are nearby, bring them a little closer to you. We'll be needing them soon. They can even be helpful here in your low lunge. Good. Okay, so let's challenge our balance next. So we're going to put weight into the right foot. So we come up onto the toes of the back foot. Balancing into the right leg, draw the left knee towards your chest. We'll come all the way up to stand, taking our left knee with us. So really trust down through that right foot, pressuring down through those four corners. Interlace your hands around the front knee. You have a deep inhale as you peel the chest forward. Broaden your view out in front. Take the right hand to the outside of the left knee and reach the left hand behind. Bring the left hand back again. And before we reach behind, take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, reach behind you. Once again, can you blow that bit of dust off your shoulder? Okay, and we're already opened up to the side. We'll be working over to half moon pose from here. So know where your block is. And start to tip the chest forward, releasing your right hand down to the block. As you bring the left foot back, stack the left hip on top of the right. Maybe the left hand's on top of the hip, Maybe it's reaching up towards the ceiling. Flex through that back foot and imagine that you were pressing into the floor with the left foot. Or better yet, a wall behind you. Good. Can you lift that left foot a little bit more? Nice job. One more breath here. It's okay if you fall out. It's all part of it. Good information for the next time. And lower the left foot back a big step, opening up to warrior two. So there's a deep bend through the front knee. And your back foot is angled about 45 degrees towards the front of your mat. Take a moment to think about the adjustments, cues that you get in warrior two. So you've been to many classes at the studio. You've likely heard these a lot, but look over your front knee and see your big toe. Can you move that knee to the right a little bit more if you can? Bring the arms up, lift the palms up and let the shoulders relax down and back. Press through the big toe of the front foot and the little toe of the back foot, that outside edge of the back foot. Don't want to forget about that back leg. Now flip the palms over and gaze out over the front fingers. Nice. So even the best laid plans sometimes go awry, so we can set ourselves up the best we can, and sometimes we get knocked out of it. So we've just set ourselves up rather nicely in warrior two, and now we're gonna let that go. So on your next breath in, reach up, five-pointed star, let the hands come up any organic way, and exhale, let them go, bending the knee. Inhale up, exhale, let it go. Move between these two with your breath. One more, reaching up, 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 and exhale, lower. Find warrior two. Start to straighten through the front leg. Right hand comes to the left shoulder, left hand to the right elbow, and reach back, reverse warrior. The long line through the right side of your body. Still pressing down through your feet. Arms release into a T. Shift the right hand forward and the hips back. Trikonasana. Right hand down, left hand up. Think about opening chest towards the ceiling. Nice. One more deep breath. And as you exhale, cartwheel the left hand down to frame your front foot. Step the left foot in just enough so that all 10 toes are pointing the same way and both feet are more or less on the ground. So there's a straightening through the legs. There may be a little bend through the knees still, that's all right. Set up for pyramid. Imagine your right hip coming slightly back, the left hip slightly forward. And see if you can let the upper body soften towards the front leg. And let's test our balance in another pose. So start to bend softly through the right knee. We're transitioning to warrior three. Come up onto the ball mound of the back foot and start to spring off of the back foot, lifting up into warrior three, and then lowering back down, toes, left toes to the earth. Spring up into warrior three, strong through that right leg, and back down. Back up. And exhale it down. One more time and we'll stay here in warrior three this time. Maybe palms come together at the center of the chest. Flex through that back foot. And once again, imagine you have a wall behind you and you're pressing into that wall, pressing all four corners of your feet into the wall. Maybe the hands float by the sides of your body. Good. Bring a gentle bend into the right knee. As you bring the left leg next to the right, sit the hips low and reach the hands up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Let your arms be wide. Sit your hips down a little bit more. Nice. One more breath in. And exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, refold. And next we'll step the right foot back. Bend into the left knee, hands onto blocks. Feel the chest forward, gaze forward. And from your lunge, we'll start to send the weight into the left leg as the right knee starts to come forward into the chest and up to stand, interlacing the hands by the knee. Inhale, reach the chest forward. There you go. Good. So equal weight down to that left foot. And inhale, reach the chest forward. Left hand to the outside of the left knee. Inhale here. And then exhale, reach right arm back and bring your gaze back to your hand. Check that right shoulder for any dust. Good. And we'll start to tip forward, letting go of the right knee. Find your hand on a block. Right arm reaching up. Half moon pose. Right hip starts to stack on top of the left. Flex through the right foot and press out through the heel. It can be helpful to bring the right hand to the hip. It can also be nice to come closer to a wall to know that you have that support there. Good, and let the right foot come down, a big step behind you, warrior two. Find those little cues for yourself to line you up. Check that front knee. Press the big toe down and the outer edge of the back foot. Strong through the legs. Relax your shoulders down and back. Gaze out over the fingers. And knowing that change is coming. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, straighten the front leg. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, let it go. A few times like this. Move with breath. Explore that playing aspect of your practice. That ability to swim, even with the challenges. And find yourself back in warrior two. Straighten through the front leg, left hand to right shoulder, right hand to the elbow. Take a breath in and exhale, arch backward. Nice length through the left side, spaciousness through the ribs. Push down through both feet. Arms come back to a T. Inhale and exhale, reach forward. And drop down to your Trikonasana. One more breath, deeply. Exhale, right hand comes forward, frame the front foot. Set yourself up for pyramid. All 10 toes facing the same way. Left hip hooks back gently. Right hip might come forward, maybe a millimeter. And see if you can let the heart start to melt towards the front leg. Come back up halfway, flat back. Bend into the left leg. So you come onto the right toes. We're going to lift up into warrior three that same way. So we're going to be coming up and coming back. So inhale, come up to warrior three. Exhale, lower back into a lunge. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, ground down. Inhale up. Down one more time. And we'll lift to stay. So maybe first finding hands in prayer. Flex through that back foot. Feel the toes pointed down towards the ground. The hips are square, parallel to the ground. Press back through the right heel. Find the hands along the sides of your body. Breathe in. On the exhale, bring the right knee next to the left, bend deeply, chair pose. Hands come to the center of the chest. Breathe in. On the exhale, twist the torso towards the right side. You might stay here, or maybe you move to hook the left elbow outside the right knee. And check to see if that creepy left knee has come forward a little bit. Shift it back. On your next inhale, come back to the center and exhale over to the other side. Inhale back to center and exhale what we were waiting for, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Step the feet a bit wide, almost as wide as the mat. Setting up for Malasana. Maybe you want to take a rocking of the hips side to side before we lower. Releasing head, neck towards the floor. Good. Bring the hips back towards the center and start to sink the hips down and back in Malasana. For Malasana, it can be nice to sit on a block. You might be up here in your Malasana. That works too. Let's introduce a twist into Malasana. So if you're up here, you're bringing right shoulder towards the center. If you're down here, right hand inside of the right leg, left arm reaches up. Follow the left hand with your gaze. Starting to untwist. Come back to the center, whichever pose you're in, and switch to the left side. Very nice. Can you let the hips relax down towards the ground? Right hand comes back to the mat. If you're sitting on any props, you can move that out of the way. And step the right foot back a big step. Lower the right knee. Hands are inside of the left foot. Tuck or untuck your right toes. Either way works. Let's stay here in lizard or dragon if you're yin spur. You can be on top of hands. You could come down to forearms on the ground or a block. Wherever you are, imagine the center of the pelvis sinking down towards the ground. So quite a hip opener. Gets into that hip flexor. Rest the hands down into the mat if you've lowered. Right hand to the ground, left hand to the left thigh. Inhale, and then exhale, look over to the left side. You might stay here. If you also want to add in a quad stretch, you can start to bend the right heel towards the glutes. Maybe even reach back, trying to find the left foot or right foot. Maybe it's just a reach today. Good. Lower the right foot down if it's raised. We'll step the left leg back. We'll bring the right leg forward, outside of the hands if that feels okay to transition, or bring it inside the hands, and then bring the hands to the inside of the right foot. Okay, so lizard and dragon on this side, what we just did on the other side. We're letting the hips start to sink low. Optional to come down in forearms. Okay, and if you're ready to move out of the pose, start to come back up on hands. Press the left hand into the ground. You bring the right hand to the right thigh. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, let that be your twist as you look over to the right side. Really wringing out the spine. You can add in that quad stretch, bending the left heel towards the glute. You might even reach back with the right hand to hold on to the left foot. Release the left foot down, and hands come to the inside of the right foot and step the right foot back. Okay. Walk the hands back towards your body. We're going to come back into a type of camel pose. So this one I learned this week called dancing camel. It's kind of fun. So we won't be coming into full camel today, but for this dancing camel, option to either bring hand to right hip, or if you have the accessibility, bringing it up onto the heel. Maybe tuck the toes under to bring the heel closer. And we'll be moving through this. So left arm comes up, and then you come through the center, reaching left arm forward, and as you come to the other side, let the right arm come up as you bring the left hand to the low back or to the heel, and move through the other side. Inhale as you reach the arm up. Exhale as you come forward. Inhale through the other side. So take a few of these on both sides. Explore. And we'll end on the left side just to make sure we even things out. And come back through the center. You can set the hips back towards the heels. Now's a good time to find your bolster. We're going to do a few restorative poses to wind down. If you like to dim the lights in your space, you're welcome to. I think I'll try it with, yeah. Okay. So the first pose we'll do is a restorative child's pose. We've gone into a few kind of back bends today. It can be really soothing to put a child's pose in. So for child's pose, we bring the toes together and the knees wide, about as wide as your yoga mat. And slide the bolster right between the legs so that it's pressing up to the thighs. You can have a block and blanket handy if you need to add more height. And bring the hands to the long side of the bolster. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let your torso lower down onto the support. One cheek finds the bolster. And the arms slide up to a place where they're comfortable. So you can add in extra props in any of these poses. The idea with restorative is we want to find a place where the body is really comfortable so that we can release some tension on a deeper level. They're generally held for a bit longer, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes up to 20 or more. We won't be doing 20 today. We'll be in this pose for 5 minutes. If you need to come out any sooner, you're always welcome to. Just make sure you're moving gently and slowly. I'll let you know when we're about halfway through so you can flip your cheek to the other side. Breathe into the back of your body. Nice deep breath. And exhale, let it go. Another deep breath into the back of your body. And exhale to release, let it go. The next breath you take, feel the front of your body pressing against the support. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, letting you be aware of the support that you have, the support that you offer to yourself today. And when you're ready to, exhale it all out. And nice and slow, start to flip the cheek towards the other side. Notice when the mind starts to go to the next thing, and bring it back to the breath. Taking another deep breath here in the pose. And if you're ready to move, start to slide the hands underneath the shoulders and gently press up. Take a breath in at the top and let it all go. And start to walk your hands back and leave the bolster where it is. And we'll move our legs so that our left hip is pressing against the bolster and our knees are bent together, stacked upon one another. You might like to place a blanket or a block between your knees for extra cushioning to help the hips. And do keep a block nearby. I'll offer one other pose while we're down here, another variation. This is a restorative twist. We bring our hands to the far side of the bolster, and the twist starts as we're still raised. So as you inhale, stretch long through the top of the head. On the exhale, start to bring the right ribs a little closer to the floor, turn down towards the floor. And just lining the torso as best you can with the bolster and lower down. It might feel most comfortable to bring the left cheek down, but you're welcome to explore the other side. Just like in child's pose, let the arms slide a little further up. And let your body start to release into the support. Letting go of holding tension. Maybe your tension is at the hips. Maybe it's the shoulder and neck, jaw, brow, or somewhere else. And if you want to explore a slightly different version of this pose, you can do a restorative triangle pose. So this is the third triangle we've had in this practice tonight. So you take your block and reach your left leg, the bottom leg, forward, out in front. You reach the right leg long behind you. You can place that block underneath the right knee, underneath the top knee. And that's going to be our restorative reverse triangle. Triangle with a twist. And take 3 more mindful breaths here. And then if your right leg is extended out, bend the knees back together, stacking them together. Slide the hands underneath the arms, underneath the shoulders, and press up. Pause at the top for a breath. And then walk yourself to the back of your mat so that you're sitting on your sit bones. And you can place your hands just below the knees. Take a deep breath in as you reach the chest forward. And exhale, slide the hands down the legs And let the head and neck hang. We'll be here for a breath. And then on your inhale, start to peel the head back up and come onto your right side. So setting up for this restorative twist on the right side, press the right hip up and the hands to either side of the top of the bolster. Inhale as you reach long through the top of the head, and exhale, let the left ribs drop towards the bolster. So you're lining up your torso with that bolster. And then when you're ready, lower down. You can always come out and then back into it. Let the opposite cheek that you took on the other side come down. Place any props between your legs or come into our reverse triangle restorative style, reaching the bottom leg out to the side and the top leg to the back. Place a block underneath the top leg. Bring the knees back together. And slide the hands underneath the shoulders. Gently press up. Pause at the top for a breath. And then you can come to sit on your bottom. You can leave your bolster right where it is. I'm just going to shift mine so that we can both see each other better. So with your hips at the bottom of the bolster, sitting on the floor, just pressing up towards the bolster, bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall to the sides. You can place blocks underneath the thighs and the calves if you'd like, a little more support for the hips. So we're going to work into Supta Baddha Konasana, our second to last restorative pose of the evening. First, let's do the Baddha Konasana part of it, the cobbler's pose. Supta just means supine, laying down. We'll do that next. So bring the hands onto the feet and take a breath in as you gaze up, opening the throat space a little bit as you lift the chin. And exhale, start to fold forward. Now maybe you want to work on some hip stretching tonight. So you will start to keep the back straight just as we are. If you want to start to release some of the neck and shoulders, upper back, let the shoulders round forward. Let the head and neck hang towards the ground. If you have an extra prop, you can place it so that your forehead will come down onto it. And if you've chosen to have that rounded back, take a deep breath in the upper back. Notice how the breath makes space for you. And exhale to let it go. As you're ready, gently walk the hands back up towards the body, nice and slow. And let's find that supine, souped up part of it. Start to let the torso come down onto the bolster. And the arms open to a gentle T, almost like umbrella arms. If it feels good, you might want to stretch the arms above head, maybe reaching for opposite elbows. Wherever you are, notice the breath at the chest, at the ribs, and at the belly. The eyes can soften or close. Deep breath into the chest space. And exhale, let it all go. Bring the hands to the outsides of the thighs and close the knees together. Moving your block out of the way. Shift the hips over to one side and roll onto the other side. Lift yourself back up. And pause for a breath in a seat. Good. And the last restorative pose we'll take before a final rest is legs up the wall or any kind of inversion. So if you have a wall, you're going to come right to the wall and swivel the legs right up there. If you don't have a wall or maybe don't want to move the body too much, you can come into a supported bridge, placing the block at the low back sacrum. You can even do a supported shoulder stand, lifting one leg up at a time. So I'll let you decide which is best for you this evening, or if you're taking this class later or earlier, whatever time of the day it is. I'm going to take the legs up the wall. If you're using a prop, you just give some room for your bottom, a few inches from the wall for the prop, and then swivel your legs up and your torso down. And the arms can be wherever feels comfortable. Maybe that umbrella arms, or grab the elbows above head. Maybe even just a gentle rest of right hand on the belly, left hand on the chest. Let the eyes soften. Let them close. And perhaps enjoying the sensation of the legs, the hips being a little bit higher than the rest of the body. In the next breath or so, you can decide if you'd like to end your practice in legs up the wall, or if you'd like to move to Shavasana. And once you've made that decision, if you're choosing to move from legs up the wall, slide the right foot into the wall and then the left foot, and roll onto one side to press yourself up. If you're in that supported bridge, you're removing the block and lowering the hips down. And find your way to Shavasana. Traditional Shavasana, laying flat on the back with the feet wide, almost as wide as your mat if you're using a yoga mat. And the legs and the arms apart from the body. Let the toes turn out to the sides and the legs follow, thighs rotating out. Taking note of the large muscles in your body, feeling a heaviness of the large muscles as they ground towards the earth. And through the upper part of your body, the top, there's a lightness. The shoulders nestle onto the back, the palms facing the ceiling. And swallow a couple of times. And then relaxing the root of the tongue, let the jaw slide back towards the ears, towards the ground. Maybe there's a slight parting of the lips. There's a smoothness in your brow. And take 3 breaths together. This first breath, a deep inhale, as the breath passes to the barriers of your body. Really full. And exhale, let it all go. Another inhale, deep inhale, as you press up to that skin barrier of the body. Really full breath. And exhale, let it all go. Last inhale, the fullest inhale you've taken today. Exhale through the mouth. Shavasana. Awareness to breath. Awareness to body. Noticing fingertips, pulse the fingertips to the center of your palms and back out again. As you flex and point the toes, introduce some movement. Any other little movements, maybe a wiggle of the hips. Eventually bring the knees so they're pointed towards the ceiling, feet are on the floor or on a prop. Maybe one last reach of the arms above head as if you're waking up. And then roll onto your right side. Gently press yourself up into a seat. Anything simple, maybe sitting up on something for a moment. Eyes can remain soft or closed, just helping to keep that internal cultivation. And we'll close the practice with one breath together, in and out through the nose, followed by an inhale and out of Om. Palms can come together at the chest, Anjali Mudra. Inhale through nose. Exhale mouth. In for Om. Om. And choosing to end your practice as you see best. Om Shanti Shanti. Peace. Thanks so much for sharing this practice tonight with me. I hope that it was a little bit challenging, working on your edge, and a little bit fun. So I'd love to know your feedback. I'm teaching every Sunday, Mondays at 12:15, and Wednesdays flowing in at 12:15 as well.